Hello and welcome to the tutorial Designing Timber Veneer Parquetry using Adobe Illustrator. This follows on from previous lessons where you would have researched some design patterns, timber veneer design patterns, parquetry, geometric patterns, and came up with an idea of what you'd like to try and design in this from this tutorial. So the focus is using Adobe Illustrator to create this parquetry pattern to the set dimensions of your lid box. So the focus within this tutorial, we want to look at workspace sizes, creating geometric patterns and shapes, joining shapes together, repeating those shapes to create a design, and then adding a color scheme which would complement the timber veneers that you'll be using in the practical lesson that follows. And finally, you'd be exporting this as an image that you can then print out and have with you when you're creating your timber veneer parquetry. So let's get started. To get started, we want to create a workspace. Not from template. We want to create that from a new one. And we're going to do that the same size as an A4 piece of paper, which is 297 millimeters by 210 millimeters. Make sure your units are in millimeters for that. I'm going to title that Lid Design and create. So now we've created our workspace, I want to show you how to create some geometric shapes. We're going to start with a square. So if I select this tool over here, in rectangle tool, I'm going to create a square that's 25 millimeters by 25 millimeters. So make sure that you've got your units here that you can adjust. So I've got my width and then my height, 25, 25, and select that. OK. That creates my shape. To copy that, I can select it. I can Command C copy and then Command V paste. And then from that, I can also hold down the Option button or key and then drag that across. Oops, sorry about that. And that should also copy that. To connect those, all I'm going to do is drag that across until it says intersect and check that that's correct, and that will then intersect and connect. For this third square, I'm going to turn that into a kite simply by selecting it and rotating that over here to 45 degrees. That'll create a kite shape. The next shape I'm going to create is a triangle, which I'll then use by joining up together with other triangles and drawing using the pen tool. I'm going to use that to make a rhombus and a trapezium. So selecting this tool, polygon tool, I'm going to select polygon and I'm going to create 3 sides, and the side radius here anywhere from 25 to 15 is good. It just depends what you're willing to cut using a laser cutter later on. So I'm going to select OK, and now I have my triangle. So I'm going to create a few more triangles just here using the Option. Okay, so I connected them point to point. I'm going to rotate this one 60 degrees so it then fits in with my other triangles. Okay, from here I'm going to create my rhombus and my trapezium. So I'm going to use the pen tool for this. So I'm going to create a rhombus first. So I'm just going to trace my triangles from anchor points to create my rhombus shape. Then I can select that and I can move that to the side and copy and paste that later. And I'm going to do that again for the other side, other angled rhombus. So there we've got 2, and now I'm going to create a trapezium. Okay, so I've got a few different shapes I can use. I can have different sizes. I can attach them however I like to create my pattern. I'm just going to show you quickly how I can create a simple pattern. If I copied this, let's say copy this rhombus, I can then rotate that 180 degrees, and I might place that on top. I can use any of my other shapes there to create any sort of patterns that I really wanted to. So it's up to you what sort of design you want to go for, but there's a way you can sort of maneuver them around. I'm going to demonstrate to you a 3D cube looking shape, which I'm going to use for my timber parquetry pattern and apply that to my lid top. So I'm just going to delete what I've got here, and I'm going to start with a triangle. The same triangle here, and I'm going to create a couple of those that I'm going to put together. I'm going to rotate this one 60 degrees. And that's the shape I'm looking for. Just going to move this out of the way for a minute. I'm going to start my pattern. I want to find the center of this page. So what I'm going to do, again using the pen tool, I'm going to draw two diagonals, anchoring them at each corner. And that should give me the center, so I know where I can start my pattern. Okay, so that should give me my center point right around here. For my pattern, I'm going to start by creating, I guess, putting my color scheme there. So I can select color over here, and I'm going to select here. So there's my swatches. I'm going to select my colors. Well, first of all, I'm going to select my squares, and I'm going to start by doing a dark veneer up here, and then for these ones, I'm going to go slightly lighter. And then lighter still. So this should give me my 3D cube look once I connect some more together. I'm going to place the center in the center here, and then I can delete my lines and I can create my pattern. So I'm going to select that all again. And I'm going to move that right in the center there. Okay, excellent. So from that, I found my center. I can delete my other lines. Okay, I'm going to replicate this pattern by simply selecting and holding down the Alt key, and I'm just going to intersect those. Let me get that right. There we go. Just make sure that you're into. And I'm just going to repeat this until I fill my page. Depending on what your pattern is, you may wish to color in each individual shape. So it doesn't matter if I go out of my working area now, because we're going to crop this later to the exact dimensions of our lid size, and I'll show you that just after I complete this. So I can speed up the process by copying more at a time. I just wanted to make sure I show you how each of these intersect as we're going. And you can see how the geometry fits. Almost there. One last one. And there we go. We can see that I've created that pattern throughout the whole entire workspace. Now, our lid, according to our projects, is 200, which is what the space we're going to be using creating a lid is around 276. We have to allow 5mm either side extra, which would make that 286, but I'm going to give 5mm extra play, so I'm adding an extra 20mm to each of these just to allow us to cut that to size to fit into our project really well. So the size here is 296 by 181. So we've got 161 here. So if you've got plus 20, that's 181, and 276 here plus 20 is 296. So that's what dimensions are going to we're going to use for this. So for this next step, I'm going to create another rectangle, and I'm going to just change my fill to no fill. I'm going to create that rectangle, and I'm going to use my width over here, which was 296 tab 181. 181, and that should give you my triangle. I can see a blue center. I want to center that to where I centered my initial center. So I'm going to move that to where I thought my center was, and hopefully that should fit into the page. Okay, let's just check. That was 296 by 181. Okay, and that center, and that is just going to fit on the page perfectly. So next part is I'm going to select, while that's still selected, I'm going to select everything here. And I'm going to go to where it says Pathfinder. I'm going to open up Pathfinder, and I'm going to crop that, and that will crop to that what I've just put in there. Okay, there's my design. So what happened there, so that's my 3D cube shape design. You can see here that the lines aren't there, so what I can select that all again, and I can add my black lines, and they're going to be used for the laser cutter to cut out these shapes. So that will add my lines in. There you can see now, you can see where the joins will be. That's pretty much the process of designing that to the specifications. What I'm going to do now is export that as a PDF, and you can then you can save that on your computer, and then you can print that out. Okay, so for that I'm going to go save as, file save as, and I'm going to select where I would like to put that. I'm just going to put this one on my desktop, and then I'm going to create a Adobe PDF file and press save. And that is all for the tutorial. Thanks for tuning in.